Following is a special sports presentation from the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 Hank FM. WLGC, Greenup, Ashland, Ironton. 105.7 Hank FM WLGC and the Total Media Sports Network presents the Boyd County Lions Coaches Show, a weekly look at Boyd County High School athletics. Live from 105.7 Hank FM Kool TV Studios. Here's the voice of the Boyd County Lions, Greg Preston.
And welcome to the Boyd County Coaches Show on 105.7 FM WLGC. Tonight we are live from Red's Place out on 8130 US Route 60 here in Ashland. Glad to have you along here. I'm Greg Preston along with Boyd County head coach Evan Ferguson. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the district matchup that the Lions opened up with last week in Johnson Central. About Greenup County this Friday, a little bit about the RPI rankings, and tonight we also have as our player on here, Hayden Noddy, going to be on their second segment. We're going to be able to take text here tonight as well. I'll go ahead and give that number out. I'll give it out periodically throughout the program, but if you want to text in a question for Coach Ferguson, give us a text at 740-302-0936. 740-302-0936. So let's go ahead and get the show started here. Last week on Friday, Boyd County fell to Johnson Central in the opener of the district, 21-14. But Coach, I'll tell you what, a valiant effort by your kids.
Yeah, we competed really hard, and we talked about after the game. I think you can understand what I was saying a little bit better. Now, and I condemn my voice is pretty well shot, but I just continue to rave on the effort our kids gave. It was a winning effort. We didn't have some things didn't go our way that would have got us a win there. But just that kind of effort, turn the tide, turn the table of where we're at in the program, and we can either be content with that or we'll move forward. And I think the fact that the happiest part I had of the game, outside of winning it, was the fact that the kids were as upset as I was when we lost. And it's been great that I'm happy with the support and the confidence that a lot of people who needed the school and be like, hey, great job, you're really turning around, you're doing great. Like you're girls playing a really good team this year. We played them really close. But I like the fact that our kids were, not content with that. And I think that a couple of years ago, that would have been the highlight of our year to go and, lose to the number one team in RPI and Johnson Central, and provide just a score and have a chance to win. And now the fact that I feel like we're at the opportunity, we want to find a way to win it, and we're not happy unless we do it. That's a good mindset our kids have. And as coaches, we always, kids say they want to win, and we always say especially we expect to win and things like that. They do, but it's really good whenever it's a united buy-in from all of our staff, from both kids and from both the staff and the community. I think can start to see now too that we did a good job.
Yep, and you take a look at it. The RPI rankings came out today or yesterday. And, you said Johnson Central rated number one in 4A with RPI, and our Lions rated 12th. That's a pretty good accomplishment for this early on in the year.
I appreciate that. It is, but we talked about, some kids were excited about some of that stuff together. We don't want to look at that now until the year's over. We just got to take each week at a time, each game by game, and do day by day of practice and continue to try to get better. I felt like we did some things well today, practice, but we also we were mad at how practice went, but we did some things well. I had a great report scout-wise on effort, and I was proud of that tonight. We got to make sure that we continue to push forward and see what it is. We could be rated we could have been one right now.
Right.
And, everybody might be patting us on the back and saying this or that, and that's good, whatnot. But it really doesn't mean jack squat if we don't finish at the end where we want to be.
Yep, that is correct. And tough schedule ahead for your Lions. And, first of all, it's, out here at Red's Place, I tell you what, a great crowd.
Yeah, it's good to have some people come out, and I love eating here. I'm really happy to have them on board. This means a lot to have their support, and I think they're also going to be the scoreboard sponsor, I believe, for
the
Kool
in-game
Hits.
scores.
Yeah, so that's going to be for Kool TV, and I think it's really good that we have them on board. And really, thank you to Reds Place for stepping up, and we hope that we can do you justice. But we're excited to be here. I know I love the food. I'm really excited to be here. That's for sure.
And we're going to have some of that here shortly. But thanks to Jared Caesar, Chris Williams, and Scott Frazier for getting this thing done so quickly to get out here for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great venue for us. And if you haven't been out here, make sure to come and check it out. It's definitely worth your time.
Now, let me ask you this, too. From game one till now, where do you think your team is?
From game one to now, I think we're where I'd say most teams are across the state. We've really improved a lot from game one till now, and I'm really proud of that. Especially you go back and look at our first scrimmage to now, we've really continued to progress each week. I thought you never obviously want to lose, but I think that first loss in East Carter, we had a big jump. We had a huge jump from week one in Guy to week two at Rock Hill, and we've made several jumps in the season, and right now it's time to make the next one.
Yep.
And this is last week was the start of district play. You obviously want to start district play 1-0. We failed to do that. However, like we talked about, I said none of our goals are out of reach for the year still.
Right.
You always want to be a district champion each year, and we need it's out of our destiny. But the Reds is out of their destiny. It worked out for them.
Worked out.
But at the same time, we want to make sure all we can do right now is we can focus on beating Greenup County this week, and we hope to really continue to show improvement. We some things may change around personnel-wise this week, position-wise from where people are at, and you have to continue to make changes, and I think it puts ourselves – we have to also create continuity there. We don't want to try to change too much. And I actually think last year after the Johnson Central game, we kind of panicked a little bit. I thought we really – we didn't have a great performance. It's no secret. And we had to find some answers. And I think we had to flip too much of the scripts going into Greenup. This year we definitely saw some things that they exposed on us. We need to make sure we capitalize on improving on what they decided to expose on us. So we had to make some changes a little bit here and there, but we also can't change too much. And we don't want to rock the boat too much. You know, you just want to continue to power it down and keep going. So put the throttle down and go. And there's going to be a little bit of change. It might just change its course a little bit on where we're going, but we're trying to go and improve this week, and we got to improve tomorrow. And I think, defensively, we've really taken huge steps and leaps and bounds defensively this year from week 3 to now. And that we want that to continue to only improve. Offensively, we've been having a lot of success all year. Now, nobody else has scored on Johnson Central this year either, but at the same time, I don't feel like we can't have 14 points as an acceptable, outcome for us on offense. We got to make sure we tighten the ship there a little bit, kind of work on making sure we can get – it was a game of inches. We could have had a lot of points, on Friday night. We just had a little bit of timing mishaps on some things, but I think we settled that stuff in. We kind of dialed in more. The look of the guys' eyes at film on yesterday and today at practice gives me a lot of hope there. I don't want to jinx us, but I think we're definitely locked into wanting to continue to improve and get better.
And, you take a look at – you and I have talked all season long, how important it is in district play, but RPI rankings, where do they come into play now as far as playoffs?
Well, we talked about district play being 0-1. First of all, how that we always want to be. You want to be 4-0. That gives you your home game in the district, right? And you first and second get the home game no matter what. It doesn't matter what RPI happens. And I don't want to try to, like I said, we were talking about how the Reds got some help. We don't want to get into that. But if it does become a 3-way tie right there, if somehow
then you go to that.
If we're somehow able to win, but right now, because it focuses on Greenup, somehow people are able to win and get it worked out to where if Ashland pulls off a victory over Johnson Central, or say Greenup beats Johnson Central, and
everybody's in the same boat right now.
If ever it's everybody, it's one game in the district. There's a lot that can change, but when you're looking into that. We got to make sure that, RPI would split ties at that point. And that's the only thing I was trying to get. RPI would split a tie if we end up getting in a 3-way tie at the top.
Right.
And we can't control that. All we can control is who we play each week and doing what we can do on a Friday. But to answer your question about playoff-wise, it really helps you on your third round. So, first round, second round is always on our sister district, which is going to be with Covington Catholic, Highlands, Mason County, and Harrison County. I mean, it's no secret that Highlands and Covenant Catholic will definitely be favored in a lot of those
Sure.
matchups. No disrespect to Harrison or Mason, but I think their game is this Friday, I believe. The Highlands Covcath
Highlands
game.
Covcath game.
I'm pretty sure, and so that kind of for lack of trying to sound disrespectful, but that's probably going to determine who's going to be the 1 or 2 seed in that district. And with that kind of tells you where we're at on for the 2 seed, how that's going to work out. Because we'd be playing the winner of how it works out. It just the 1 seed versus 4 here plays the 2 versus 3 winner of the other side. So we got to see how that works itself out. I don't want to get too in depth and give anybody any more bulletin board material.
Got to win some ball games.
But right now, we got to beat Greenup County.
Yep.
And Travis Jones does a great job every single year with those guys. And I know without a doubt they'll be prepared. Their quarterback play, I mean, they leave from Tyson Salmons to Jasper Davis, and I think they still ask a lot of that position, and that kid's delivering. So I think Coach Jones will have them ready.
Well, no, you think a lot of Jasper Davis because you know the name.
If I know their name, they do something right.
Yep. Let's go ahead and step out, take our first break of the night, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit to one of our players, Caden Nottingham. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
At Clark's Pump and Shop, we're not just a gas station, we're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams. Fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Border Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition-free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at WorkReadyKentucky.com.
Hi, I'm Kevin Anderson with First National Bank in Moorhead. From home, auto, and construction financing to refinancing options, we've got the tools to help move you forward. We also offer checking, savings, and full business banking solutions built to support you and your goals. Stop in to see us and let's talk about how we can help you. First National Bank, a tradition of value since 1902. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And we're back at Red's Place here, 8130 U.S. Route 60, the Boyd County Coaches Show tonight. Greg Preston, Evan Ferguson, glad to have you along here. Now joining us is player on the defensive side of the ball, Caden Nottingham. Glad to have him here tonight. And I guess I've got to ask you this question first. Everybody on the team calls you Bob. How'd you get that nickname?
Back in 8th grade, there was just too many Cadens on the team, so he picked Bob for me. So
that's how you became Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Now let me ask you this too. Last week at Johnson Central, defensively, your responsibility changed a little bit as we changed fronts and everything. Did you feel comfortable being able to play at the position that Coach Ferg asked you to last week?
Yeah, we barely had to. I barely practiced it, but I got the hang of it pretty quick.
Well, it seems like it because you ended up with 9 tackles last week, a pretty good night. And I know you're big into wrestling. So how has the physicality from wrestling turned into football success?
Wrestling, it really beats up your body. So,
Well, nope, you're good. You're good. So I think it's physically gotten you ready for football.
Oh, yeah.
And the good thing about it is you like the physicality of it.
Oh, yeah.
And second leading tackler on the team, it's shown. So, and then Let's see. What about, you set out for 2 years. Freshman year you played, sophomore, junior you didn't play. Now you're back playing. How have you been able to come out and be so successful?
I just feel, welcomed at the team. That's how I go.
Yep, and I think a lot of it probably too considers it like Ferg says, hard work works, and you can tell that you've been in the weight room, and you've done a great job at that, and you've been a major factor on the 4-2 start that we've had. I hope you know that, and you've done a great job. Let me ask you this too: do you watch a lot of film? I ask all these guys this.
A little bit.
Okay. So when you're watching film of your opponent, what are you looking for to try to see?
The run and pass plays, mostly.
Okay. All right. But doing a good job chasing the ball down and getting tackles. Anything you want to say to anybody?
No, I'm good.
Okay. We'll go ahead and get Coach Ferg back on here. And Caden, appreciate it. Great job here tonight. And you'll be a celebrity tomorrow at school. All right, let's go ahead and get Ferg back on here. Coach, well, let me go ahead and give this out real quick, too. We're going to go ahead and send out the text number again. We'll go ahead and take some text questions here. 740-302-0936 is the number. Again, that's 740-302-0936. And
I just shared that as a comment on their Facebook page. I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm not very good getting this live quick, but just trying to make sure to help that out.
Okay, we got Jim Bob from Red Fox again texting in. He was with us, texting us there last week. What kind of rivalry does it bring this week? Playing a team like Greenup County, a team from up the river, does it mean more when you see these teams in district play?
I think when you're playing these local, bordering county schools, it definitely does bring a level of rivalry to it and a level of county pride. We say a lot here at Boyd County. We want to be, especially when, last couple of years we've had some good games with Greenup County. It's been dogfights. I mean, last year it came down to the wire, and we came up short. Before that, we've had some really good wins last couple of years since I've been here. And it's been a good game every time. And
yes.
You expect a lot out of a team like Greenup County. And, I think they're a well-coached team. I think they're always a classy bunch. I think Coach Jones does a great job. I really don't want to, understate that enough because it means a lot when you play a team that you can go and compete tooth and nail and fight everything until the very end of the game and do anything in the world to beat the guy.
Right.
And he did the same thing to beat me.
Sure.
And we can shake hands after. And his kids also reflect that in his coaching. I think that means a lot when you have good kids like that. And I think our kids will go compete the same way a little bit and shake and say good game after. And we get bragging rights in for 365 days. And then we'll do it again next year. So it definitely is exciting to play those local schools. I mean, you got Greenup County. You've got, everybody talks about Ashland. Now come up, but Lawrence County is the same way. The Carter County schools, get that way. It's it's nice to play those teams, but with Greenup being a district school with us, it definitely brings a little bit more to the rivalry.
Right. And, I know somebody spoke to me today after the Rock Hill game. You was talking about, us setting a goal, scoring a lot of points in a game. And we've been doing that. I think we're averaging 32 and a half a game. What's been your success with that?
I think it's really grown with our ability to run the football, and it's set up the ability for us to kind of take some, control the clock. We weren't really able to do that as much earlier in the year, but we definitely have improved actually from the fourth quarter on to get that, and so I really hope that we can continue to get that football going on the field, around the ball. We've stayed really balanced. I mean, I don't know the exact statistic, but we're pretty even on running and pass total yardage.
Yeah.
But our defense has given us some short fields there. Whenever we get the short fields, it helps us. As great as our defense played last week, I'm definitely not in any way shortcutting them, but we had a very long field about all night against Johnson Central. 2 99-yard, drives starting on our own -1. That makes it really tough to kind of be conducive when you're having to go that far, especially against a really quality defense like that. But, we definitely want to – last week, I've been – obviously, it kept me up a lot. Not only I was up late Friday night upset about it, I was up late Saturday night and Sunday morning about 3 a.m. trying to get some stuff down in. I just really want to make sure even if Johnson Central, care for Johnson Central, Bull County, Trinity, St. Whoever we're playing, if we're playing, or like it was 2 weeks ago, we want to be able to score points and we want to be able to stop people. That's what our job is, to play great on both sides of the football. And I think our kids played hard on both sides of the football, and we played relatively well, but we got to get better, obviously.
And, you speak about yardage being pretty close. You've thrown for 936 yards, and you've ran for 945. Doesn't get much closer than that.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty even. So we got to it's nice to have that balance. I think we got to get a little bit more diversity to what we're doing on the run game. I think we're really good at, running our power. We got to get a little bit better at counter, I guess, with it, I'd say. And then but our pass scheme is really what protects it the most. I think fact that I think Jay Spanning's doing a great job at quarterback, continuing to grow and get better each week. I thought he played really well last week against Johnson Central, and Caleb Kelly's done a great job at receiver. Cam, I think Thomas looked pretty good last week, getting back in action. Thomas Crawford, CJ got a good catch, and Connor Davis kind of starting to have the breakout a little bit of starting to get more involved on offense. So we definitely hope to continue to build what we're doing on the offensive side of the football. And the more people you have to worry about, I don't care if we're, what you're doing, it makes the team the defense have to respect the entire field. And I think Johnson Central was able to kind of really press us a little bit. They were playing actually catch man, but they were doing such a great job of getting in their pass rush is what really kind of helped their coverage on the long plays. But their pass rush was phenomenal.
And, you were able to keep them off balance with the running attack that you have, and you gave yourself a chance to win at the end. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, we did. I definitely. There's a lot of those like one plays here and there you went back, but overall it was a pretty good effort. And I think that was the best we've ran the football on design runs against them since I've been here. And it was really exciting for our guys. Just wanted they had no doubt we'd find a way to get it in when it was inside the 10, and that meant a lot to me that we were able to do that instead of have to try to get cute and get creative. We just kind of got tough and got mean.
Yep. And, another question this one texted in is, how do you keep the team focused this week and not looking ahead, especially with Ashland the week after? It's natural for kids to do that, but Greenup County's a handful.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really. I know the only thing I'll say that's been a little bit is we had to see Greenup and Ashland play last week, so you have seen that film, and you'd be dumb to say you haven't at least seen them now and at least looked at it, but. We want to make sure we're focused on the team in green and white, and we have to take care of what we're going to do against Greenup. And I actually arguably would have been more worried about that if we had pulled it off the win last week, because then at that point you kind of have that first win district. You kind of got yourself solidified to be in playoffs. You kind of got yourself in that situation. Right now we have nowhere to go but up. We have to get the job done this week to kind of guarantee us a spot of getting in the playoffs to begin with, let alone worry about Ashland. Yeah, we got to make sure we're taking care of each week. And I think Greenup, honestly, I hate to say it, but last year losing to him might be the best medicine we ever had too, because I know I still have a lot I want to get back at, letting that game go. And I mean, I don't think, they just were phenomenal in it, but Tyson Sammons especially, I usually don't say get beat by one guy, and no disrespect to the rest of their team, but golly, Tyson Sammons played a phenomenal football game and went out with senior night with a bang last year. And I haven't forgot it, and for 360 however many days it's been since we played it last year, and I cannot wait to get a chance to go play them again Friday night.
Yep, we got a text here too. It's about our chain gang. We got a pretty good chain gang over on the sideline at our home place.
We do. I think it's nice having our basketball staff's a big part of that, and it's really cool seeing them support. We can always helping each other out. That means a lot that they're there, and we don't get a lot of measurements these days. Always, it'd be nice.
Yeah, it would. All right, another question coming in. Last year, Greenup County's quarterback Sammons gave us trouble with his running ability, and it looks like they have another mobile quarterback again this year. So what's our approach this week to limit him and contain the running game?
I think you look at his carries. I think he has the most carries on the team right now, and they really just have between him and 9 on run the
Wireman
football.
kid.
Yeah. I think you kind of set me up there for failure, Coach. But I think he does. Coach Jones does a great job down there with doing a lot of bash reads, a lot of power read, a lot of tray read, doing a lot of things where he's a counter read stuff where he will, get your guards and your tackles and your linebackers keen to pull them away and letting the back play. Letting the quarterback then play in space.
Right.
And A lot of it's sometimes even designed where they're actually running the tray or the counter or the power, whatever the read concept they're trying to do. Sometimes they're usually a gap scheme, so they're usually doing some type of power or counter at it. And whenever they're hitting that, they get the back, which a lot of times if you have bad eye discipline, you focus on looking at the back, you're going to lose it, and the quarterback makes a lot of big plays for you when he's getting stuff blocked for you and getting bad flow. I think one of the things they got a couple plays we actually have already talked about. These are kind of our auto checks. We got to make sure we identify and do it, make sure we don't over pursuit of that. We got to stay true. And the one thing I like about it, a lot of those that I'm the most worried about, some of our best, most experienced players are the ones that are in conflict. And you want to make sure at that point, whenever the guys they're reading, the guys that you have, I call it in conflict on who you're going to read, you want those guys to be your best players. You want that to be the guy that we have to make the decision. Be one-on-one with, so-and-so. Look, we talked about Brody Castle having all the – well, we haven't talked about him yet, but he's got about to set our career tackle record. And,
yes.
Make him be that guy who makes the decision on who to tackle and let him go eat and just do his job, and let Caleb Kelly and Ian Branham and Taryn Tackett and all these guys. And, Caleb Bremmer's come out and did a great job for us the last couple of days. And let Caden Nyham, we just had him on here, let him go tackle the guys. So I don't want to get too far in depth with all that guys, but we want our experienced guys, the ones who've seen, the ones who we can trust to play disciplined football, be the ones that are in conflict on the read. And if we do that and make and kind of force the read and kind of direct out needs to go, that really helps you on stopping that quarterback run. That's a long-winded answer, but that's pretty as detailed as I can make it.
And you talk about Brody Castle. Just on the defensive side of the ball, he's somebody you can't do without. You take a look last week, 21 tackles. He's been really, really good for you for his career.
Yeah, he's been really good all career, but I would say going into his senior year, he's been above and beyond this year with outside of the we talk about everybody can see us put on the field. He's about to set all the tackles. He's on almost every single tackle on every play we have. But beyond that, he kind of rallied. He's been focusing more on defense a lot this year and played scout D basically all day and kind of rallied our scout to where we had some fits with him. Obviously, he's one of the best linebackers in the region, and I think that he gives us a lot of fits with our guys working. He's going to make our offense better in that sense too. But and just that leadership of keeping the locker room in check, keeping the guys on the field, making sure the guy wants to win. We can talk about the stat, but I guarantee you he would trade. If he didn't make a tackle the rest of the year, if he went out, he'd be happy. You know, so at the same time, that's the kind of guy that you're proud of. He's got good parents. They're football people that have always been supportive, and it means a lot to have Brody with all the adversity he's been through with the knee injuries and things like that. And to be able to that,
he may be on top of the list already.
There's a pretty good chance of that. So, but he stayed the course, and that's really frustrating for a kid that age to have to do that. It's not, but. Hopefully, I hope and pray this senior year continues to be special for him because we need it, but it's happy to see him have the success he's having.
Yes, no doubt about that. One more text here before we go to a break. Greenup County is a young team with over half their team being underclassmen. How can you use your experience to your advantage?
It's funny that we talk about our experience now whenever we talked about week 1 or 2, how we didn't have experience.
How we didn't have experience.
So I think that they are young. I think we're young, too, in a lot of ways. But we have some guys who have been battle-tested. You look at Taryn and Caden Butler, who both were playing and starting on the district championship team in 22.
Yes.
Caleb Kelly's been a part of the last 3 years, and so has Brody Castle. And, those guys have been a part of a lot of wins, and they've been a lot of – some coaches talk about you have to learn how to win, but to know how to learn how to win, you have to learn how to lose close. And you have to learn. And we've been close on some big games, just like last week. We've seen those opportunities get slipped from our fingers. And how do you find a way to tighten the ship and win those games and just find a way to toughen out? I thought this year, the first game against Gallia was an example of how your experience kind of does that with some of our experienced guys stepped up as that game went and got the job done for us. So, now we're in district play. Everybody has more experience. Some guys have more than others, and we're trying to get more and more experience from more guys. But you still look at those captains, those seniors that have been around to go lead the way for us and hopefully kind of stay the course. It's going to be home. We're finally got, in theory, even though it's fall break, we're still going to have an at-home game that starts on Friday at 7:30. And it's going to be – this is the first true normal feeling home games, knock on wood, of the year. So
Right.
we got to make sure that we can come out and have a big crowd at home for us. And it's been a great crowd last couple weeks. We're going to make it an electric environment. I mean, it was that last week at Johnson Central. And
It
I think
really was.
And we got to make sure that happens this week. And I can't wait for Friday to get here, to be honest with you.
Let's go ahead and step out, take another break here on the Boyd County Coaches Show. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about last week's opponent, Johnson Central. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
No down payment? No problem. Here at KFB, we make homeownership easy with our no down payment home loans. Whether you're buying your first home or ready for something new, KFB is here to guide you every step of the way. Apply today and take the first step towards your dream home with no money down. Restrictions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. KFB, the better bank, located at Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, Summit, and Wheelersburg. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Since Ninth Choice Credit Union, member NCUA.
At Clark's Pump and Shop, we're not just a gas station, we're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams. Fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show here live from Red's Place, where we will be for the rest of the football season here on 8130 US Route 60. Come out next week and join us. I know this was kind of short notice getting this out. We didn't get this worked out till yesterday. But we're going to be here for the rest of the year. Thanks to everybody out here at Red's Place for getting us in, and let's make this one big happy show once we get this thing going. What do you say, Coach?
Oh, yeah, we'll make sure we get to everybody can hear what we're doing here, and we can get some live questions back and forth and live feedback, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's definitely good food, and it's a nice little place to come out in the county and support what we're doing.
And, this segment, we're going to have this a short segment here. This time we're going to talk a little bit about last week's game against Johnson Central. And, you and I talked during the week a little bit about trying to get turnovers and able to capitalize. And you were able to get the turnovers and give yourself a chance.
Yeah, it was really good to see us create some – turnovers are great, but like forcing some fumbles. We had some against Fairview the week before, but we, a lot of our turnovers have come through the air. We've been forcing, getting some picks and stuff. It was really good to see. When you're forcing fumbles, it's usually because you're playing hard and hitting people really hard and getting good hand placement, head placement on the football and stuff like that. But that's really good to see us kind of continue to improve and do that 2 weeks in a row. We worked on some turnover circuits and actually lacked, because one of them was textbook from Ian, who was actually not even in my exact turnover circuit on. I was like, okay, Ian, let's do. We did that exactly right, and Ian Branham, Ian Wilbur. But I said, we did that exactly right. I was like, actually, you were in the other coach's drill. I was bragging on how we did it. But, no, it was just good to see us force turnovers. It was good to see us literally play with just a relentless effort for 4 quarters. And that's expected, and I think that's the one thing we have to get to where we're at. That's what it should be every week, and we have to make sure we clean some things up, because that's a game that we need to find a way to win in the future, and we got to find a way to win one this week.
Well, and you take a look at stats from last week. You had 5 different guys carry the football. You had 4 different guys catch the football. So a lot of film that the other coaches have got to watch when you spread the wealth around.
Yeah, we definitely trying to keep it balanced. We got several guys that can can carry the rock, and several guys that can score, and it just comes down to how we're playing up front. And I think we're continuing to get better up front, and I'm really happy with how that's kind of improving throughout the year. It's definitely a lot better today than it was week one. It does a lot better actually now than it was last week. So it has to continue to improve because that's what good football. You have to continue to be traveling upward. Climbing the mountain game after game, week after week, all year long. So if we can continue to do that and learn some things that Johnson Central is, they're a really, really good football team. They play extremely hard. They're extremely strong, physical, everything they do. And we were getting some pretty good down blocks, getting some pretty good kicks, but we had to make sure just a simple thing of we got to almost fit our shoulder pads a little bit better place. We got to work on driving our feet a little bit more. They were doing some different cuts and stunts to us on trying to stop that run play. And they do a little bit of a twist and by the back, or that gave us some fits on some things with the pass pro with our nose, and those are things that we it just kept us from having. Instead of having 2 seconds to throw, we had about 1.5 on some of those plays, and it was a great play by Johnson Central making it happen. I think our kids, and we improved it as the game went. In the last drive, we actually kind of had settled down and got it right. Just would like the game to keep going, sometimes like that. And I thought I just was proud of our effort, and we hope that continues to improve and each week. And Johnson Central is going to hopefully continue. That's how that RPI works too.
Yes.
Even though we didn't win it, your opponent's win percentage, win or loss, actually gives you a point. It just helps a lot when you actually win the game, even more
sure.
so.
But you're getting something out of it.
Yeah, a lot of our teams have got great records. I mean, Rock Hill with 1 loss, East Carter with 1 loss. You can go down Fairview. It's got 2 losses.
2.
Yep, and then John Central's with undefeated. So definitely got some guys that are we played a very tough schedule so far, and it's not going to get any easier, especially not this week with Greenup County. So we got to be locked in.
And Jace Manning last week too showed he can use his legs on a big play. It came up at a big time to keep a drive alive. You end up scoring on it.
That was a huge play. I think he's doing a great job, and he got better about scrambling forward. Instead of trying to, he's doing a great job of, when it's not there, starting to go through his progression, and when he sees his batter, getting that pressure to flare forward and kind of step up and get out of it that way. And he made some really nice plays into the pocket, and almost had actually in the first drive of the game, he made a couple shakes back there, and almost just kind of got a little hit at the end. The ball came out weird, but almost kind of we're having a completely different conversation, I think, if that ball gets to come out clean. And it was a really fantastic play to even get to that point by him. So he's really improving. I think we're starting to be able to communicate and talk more and kind of starting to speak the same lingo a little bit of, I want, like, hey, if we run this and look at this, instead of, we had a little bit of like that translation for a little bit, like, hey, this is what you called. Okay, well, this was how we call it, blah, blah, blah. And now we're starting to get that lingo on the same page. And whenever your verbiage is getting more consistent, he's getting more confident, and that's going to only let his play continue to increase and get better and better.
And, last week, Blake Sexton continues to get the ball in the end zone. He's got 10 touchdowns now.
That's 10 touchdowns. I don't really know exactly the last couple of years, but that's probably the most we've had from a true running back in a long time. And James is doing a great job carrying the football for us too, and it's good to have kind of that duo back there that can kind of spell. And they're different types of runners, and they both have speed, but they both have their own kind of forte on what they do well, and they're doing a good job for us. And we hope to continue. And I thought Connor finally getting his first carries of the year. He looked really kind of natural running it. So I hope he continues to do that, and it's going to continue to help us. And we might have some more wrinkles to throw in with that this week.
And, Caleb Kelly, obviously everybody knows about him catching the football, but Cam May, Thomas Crawford, C.J. Smith, Connor Davis last week have catches too. Everybody getting into the mix. That's just last week, and, that's not even mentioning Ian Branham from the tight end slot. So a lot of guys that Jake's can throw to now.
Yeah, Ian's there. You also, like Caden Butler's a guy that's been kind of just hampered by injury a little bit all year, but he looked pretty good today actually in practice. That was his first game back, and a lot of the stuff we were doing with him last week was more so on helping us with the run fits and run the football. But he might kind of get back into that rhythm of getting the ball out to him some too. So definitely more guys are doing things well for us, and I'm excited to see what the offense looks like this Friday.
Let's go ahead, step out, take another break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Greenup County. Back after this on the Boyd County's Coaches Show on 105.7 FM WLGC.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Border Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Hi, I'm Kevin Anderson with First National Bank in Moorhead. From home, auto, and construction financing to refinancing options, we've got the tools to help move you forward. We also offer checking, savings, and full business banking solutions built to support you and your goals. Stop in to see us and let's talk about how we can help you. First National Bank, a tradition of value since 1902. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition-free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at workreadykentucky.com.
No down payment? No problem. Here at KFB, we make homeownership easy with our no down payment home loans. Whether you're buying your first home or ready for something new, KFB is here to guide you every step of the way. Apply today and take the first step towards your dream home with no money down. Restrictions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. KFB, the better bank, located at Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, Summit, and Wheelersburg. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show here live from Red's Place, 8130 US Route 60. Come on out here, grab a bite to eat, have a good time, and next week we'll be back here. Actually, the rest of the season, like we mentioned earlier, we'll be out here for the rest of the football season. Glad to have Red's Place along with us and joining in and supporting the Lions. Coach, right now I guess it's probably a good time to go ahead and start talking about this week's opponent in Greenup County. Another district game. You only got one non-district game left. So everything is extremely important here. But Greenup County comes in at 2-4, but they're a whole lot better than that record shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've dropped, Ashland. They played them really close last week, and that gets you, it definitely brings, just like they're probably saying, people talking about, Boyd County played Johnson Central close and whatnot, but Greenup's a good football team. That's not a fluke for them to do so.
No.
And, they played East Carter closer than we played East Carter. And, we can talk about our mistakes, but they still played a good football game. They had their mistakes. They had their opportunities. They went back in that game, too. If you look at what they did last week with Ashland, I think they had 3 possessions inside the red zone. They didn't convert on, and I talked to Travis about that. And he was really upset about it. He's like, I had our chances. I said, trust me, man, I hear you. It happens. But no, Greenup's a really good football team. I just think they do. I think defensively they're phenomenal at schematics of what they're trying to do. I think they do a lot of stemming and slant. It's really a high level scheme on their defense. So hats off to their what they're doing on the defense side of the football. Offensively, same too. They really are maximizing what they have with their kids really well. I think they're doing a great job as a staff on what they're doing, and I really hope to see what we can find some things to convert with what we found on their film, what they do. But it really comes down to no matter what we do, it's coming down to what their kids can do. They have really good players that we're going to play hard for them, and we have guys that are going to play really hard for us that are pretty good too. So it should be a nice battle.
And, they have a lot of multi-athlete kids, and so do we. That leads us to, Caleb Brimmer, who just came out to the team, one of our basketball players after transferring in. A great addition to our team.
Yeah, it was actually nice getting that question kind of texted in. Somebody saying about, it's great seeing all the multi-sport athletes coming out. And, it's good to have once he got moved in into the district, we always give kids the opportunity to play everything, and it's good seeing we have a lot of guys being. Caleb Brimmer's had a good couple first games for us.
Yes.
Took a while to kind of feel like he was in the shape he needed to be. We didn't want to rush him on too long. Took him about a month there. We took him just making sure he was ready before we kind of debuted it there. But he's done a really good job for us on the defense side of the football last 2 weeks. And there's other guys. Connor Davis. That guy is doing such a great job of actually doubling up with soccer currently,
yes.
And he does our kickoff duties, but also is doing a good job playing both sides of the football now for us. We kind of just started him on defense, and now he's kind of branched over to the offensive side of the ball. But that guy comes to football practice, goes plays a soccer game last night, and he's up to 2 a.m. doing AP stats, homework, and then into school on time. He's a phenomenal kid who does a lot of things the right way and is super competitive. And it's guys like that when you have these competitive, because athletes that want to play other sports, they're competitive people. You don't just do all that for no reason. When we have our best athletes in the school competing for all of us, it helps me in football. It helps Coach Pennington in soccer. It helps Coach Conley and you in baseball, and it helps Coach A in basketball season. When we have everybody doing all that, it's going to make us just a better school in general, and that's what high school is all about. So it's really fun to see. And that's just 2 of them. We have several other guys playing and doing a lot for us.
Yes, and, it's getting back to Greenup County here this week, with Jasper Davis at the quarterback, he poses a real threat for your defense.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned before, I knew his name, Jasper. He does a good job for him. And I think, they've done a good job kind of transitioning his role from being the kind of slot, kind of playmaker guy out in the slot last year for him and did some different things. And they've moved him now into the quarterback position. And, that's not an easy transition for anybody to do, but he's really done a great job. And he's improving so much from week to week. And I think, I've got at this point, you get several films on each team you play, and I've watched them from early in the season to now, and they've had a lot of improvement. He's had a lot of improvement personally, and he's a great player on defense too. I mean, he had the big pick 6 last week, and the way he broke on that ball and read that was really phenomenal. He has a really nice play by him, but he does a great job reading it. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm definitely never going to throw shade at Tyson Sam because he's a phenomenal player, but I think sometimes Tyson just said, I'm taking it no matter what.
Sure.
I think Jasper does a really good job of making the right read. You can tell who he's reading stuff. He does a good job with that, but he's doing great. I mean, Tyson was phenomenal for him last year. Those are really, really big shoes to fill, and he's doing a great job of stepping in them.
And, you talked about, you and I talked about us being well-balanced. They are too.
Yeah. They can. I think they got a good job. The Gammon kid outside does a good job getting over the top, and he's got a lot of speed to him. He's got good length. He got good size. Heck, we played him in over. I mean, not that 7-on-7 really matters, but we had an overtime 7-on-7 game with him this year that came down to the last play. It's really just a cool. They're competitive. They're got good. I think this might be the kind of the best they've been outside since we played them. They have that kid does a good job, but some other ones do too. They're really they're more balanced than they have been. They've been way more run heavy than they are. They still are a run heavy football team, but they're definitely more balanced and explosive outside than what they have been.
And speaking of the game, Ryan Crank's been kicking the ball well for us. So you got to be happy about your special teams.
For sure. He's doing a good job there on the place kicking duties, and that's more than just his part of the duty. While he's doing great, we're protecting it well. A lot of our issues early in the year with that was lack of, the whole snapper hold combination was an issue there for us, and that was kind of because we had some injury issue right off the bat we didn't expect, but that's really kind of settled in for us. We're doing a really good job there. I thought Caden Butler had some good punts last week. I think Ian's doing a good job with the long snapper, and Evan Williams doing a great job holding. But, special teams are a big part of it, and I love seeing how we're doing a great job of usually keeping great field position on our kickoffs, too. We're doing a good job of covering the field down there well. And I think we missed some assignments on our return last week, and we talked about that on film on Monday, how it got worse last week. I know that Johnson Central probably made it worse, but we got to make sure we do what we need to do to make that right. That's an important play. From starting on the 40-yard line is a lot better than starting on our own 20. So, if we can get those 20 yards, it makes us a lot more conducive place to score, and that's going to help our defense out too. If we happen to have to punt, we punt and drive them deep, it's going to be a lot easier than them have to go 90 yards instead of have to just go, punt, only have to go 60 yards. That difference, the 40 to 20 starting distance is huge.
Yep. And, the last 2 weeks with Fairview and Johnson Central, you've seen both teams line up more power football. This week, what do you do to get ready for more finesse?
Well, they are. I think they're a power spread. How about that?
Okay.
I wouldn't call them finesse. I think they're just really good at reading it. They're doing a lot of stuff still option football. Johnson Central's reading it as a midline, wishbone read. And so is kind of Fairview. But you look at they do a lot of midline read too, but it's a lot more eye candy outside. It really arguably makes it even be more important for you to have good discipline and good assignments, because you talked about how they're balanced with their passing is they've still thrown for almost 950 yards, throughout the year. So they've done a really good job of taking their shots when they get an opportunity. And they're really a big play passing team instead of, we do a little bit more quick game with it. But they do a great job of kind of taking their shots, and they make you commit out to it. And a lot of the stuff I talked about with their bash action of, back away with the guards, different guards away stuff, it kind of really puts you in the conflict stuff.
Right.
And so we're going to need a big 9 out of our secondary to kind of limit that, because we're going to need them to make some run plays, but we also have to stay disciplined so that we can and don't get beat over top. And if you go back and look at it 2 years ago, we played them in 23. They were up 14-0 on us, and it was kind of scrambling there for a little bit. And we got the ball, finally got a score, and then Cole Hicks decided, I'm going to win the game. And he picks off 2 passes, and they arguably, he makes great plays as picking it off, and those 2 kind of picks got us rolling, and we ended up scoring, I think, was it 48 unanswered at that point, and the game just completely flipped. But last year you look at it, and we played, was back and forth, and they hit some of those balls,
right?
And it's not so much going to be about stopping everything they do, but limiting their explosive plays. You hear a lot about coaches talking about explosive plays. Well, last week we also lost the explosive play battle against Johnson Central, and we lost it last year against Greenup. This year we got to make sure we kind of limit their explosive plays. You can't have those runs over 10 yards, can't have those passes over 20. We got to make sure we kind of convert and get some more explosive plays, because we didn't have a lot of that last week. We had to kind of dink and dunk, and it puts a lot of pressure on every play and too much pressure on just trying to get 4 yards at a time. That's not how we're built as a team, and it's really hard in modern football to do that.
Yep, and I haven't had a chance to take much of a look at Greenup County yet this week. What can we expect to see from them on the defensive side of the football?
Like I said, they do a really good job of stemming into different fronts. They've kind of been from a 3 to a 4. They're kind of been a little bit more of an even front last couple of weeks, but their outside guys can kind of stem out of it and roll to coverage. They do a good job of rolling around. They do some interesting things how they're rolling in and out of kind of I call it meg coverage, but different versions of match, split field coverages, and some quarters, but it's cover 2. They've done some cover 3 too. They definitely they'll do meg where they man the outside guy up and play cover 2 inside, different things like that. They do a really good job of kind of trying to take away what you do best and make you be uncomfortable is what they're trying to do. Well, and they do a little twist and stuff up front as well. They do. I think they're really got a lot of scheme to their defense, and it's actually pretty impressive that they're doing it. And you don't see a lot of blown assignments from what I've seen on film. They just sometimes they're doing a lot with their kids, and I think honestly they're doing a really good job of kind of getting them all to play hard and be bought into it. We got to make sure we have to be really gap sound then on our offense to make sure we we have to be paths over people a lot, because when they're stemming and kind of sliding in and out doing their stunts, if you try to start chasing the people, you're creating that gap for that backer to be blitzing through that. So you got to make sure we all step the correct way, and we got to run hard. And we can't let it become complicated. And another thing with that, we got to make sure we go fast, and we have the ability to go pretty fast on offense. And the faster we go, the less complex they can be. So we got to be ready to do that.
Let's go ahead, step out, take our final break of the evening. When we come back, we'll wrap things up on the Boyd County Coaches Show. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical homes, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Since 1932.
That's Members Choice Credit Union, member NCUA.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition-free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at workreadykentucky.com.
No down payment? No problem. Here at KFB, we make homeownership easy with our no down payment home loans. Whether you're buying your first home or ready for something new, KFB is here to guide you every step of the way. Apply today and take the first step towards your dream home with no money down. Restrictions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. KFB, the better bank, located at Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, Summit, and Wheelersburg. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show live tonight and the rest of the football season from Reds Place, 8130 U.S. Route 60 here in Ashland. Thanks to Jared Caesar, Chris Williams getting this set up with Reds Place out here to finish this off for the rest of the season. Greg Preston, Evan Ferguson, glad to have you along. Coach, we got one more question for you here before we wrap things up. It came in, speaking of seniors, we've heard some of the boys talk about senior dinners they have on Thursday. Can you tell us what that's all about? Is it a bonding experience for the seniors?
Yeah, I think it's really a cool thing that they've started doing. Actually started that last year. The seniors kind of got together. The senior parents did and wanted to have a dinner with the boys and kind of they make it kind of do some fun games and make sure they're kind of being a team of just that group of guys that have been together for a while, or some might be new guys into it, but it's an opportunity for them to make some memories and kind of go back to their roots a little bit. And you got some parents they got the pictures of them from young and whatnot, and they can kind of bring up old memories. Right. And I went last week; it was a good time, and it's definitely a good thing that they're continuing to go forward with. And I think Susan Campbell is doing a great job, kind of continuing that tradition this year.
And the Lions will be in action on Friday night at home to the Boyd County Athletic Complex. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. 7:30 is the kickoff. And, special thanks to everyone involved in this production here tonight, especially here at Reds Place for letting us come out here to join this coaches show the rest of the season. That's Reds Place here, 8130 U.S. Route 60. Special thanks back to the studio, Dwayne Fowler. And I say this all the time, but what a great job he does back to the studio of having everything run smoothly. We've got Ian Wilburn here again. He's over here and, pulling all the plugs for us. All Coach and I have to do right now is put some headsets on. And but it's I tell you what, it has been a great night here tonight. Coach, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you again Friday from the Boyd County Athletic Complex.
Go Lions. Thanks for having me.
Special thanks again to everyone involved in this. We'll be back on the air Friday, like I said, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:30 is kickoff time as Boyd County takes on the Greenup County Musketeers in the Lions' second district game of the season. So we're going to go ahead and check out here for the evening. So for Dwayne Fowler, Ian Wilburn, and Evan Ferguson, I'm Greg Preston. Good night. God bless.
Of the Total Media Sports Network and Hank FM 105.7